Hey guys, we're going to be talking about Miss Marvel 2006 by Brian Reed today. I have the Premier Editions, and so I'm basing it off of the Premier Edition collections that I own physically. Miss Marvel, issue number 1, written by Brian Reed, drawn by Roberto de la Torre. Released March 1st, 2006. After finishing the lackluster Alyssa Wong 2023 short run, I decided to go back in time to this. The premiere hardcover starts off with a giant-size intro first, and just shows you how this all takes place after the events of House of M, which I never read. At first, I was worried I would need to understand that arc, but luckily, I don't. And the rest of this run is solely focused on Carol. Issue number 1 starts off with Miss Marvel feeling like she isn't being the best she can be. That she was made an Avenger just for being Miss Marvel, and that she needs to prove herself through more trials and tribulations. As she's talking about where she wants to go in life, she is talking to her close friend, Jessica Drew, who wonders why Miss Marvel would feel this way, as she reminds her of some of her greatest heroic achievements. This isn't enough, and Miss Marvel is determined to do more. By the end of the issue, she gets what she wished for. A fast-flying anomaly comes crashing towards the town, so fast that even Carol has trouble catching it, and so it crashes into the town. Brood aliens come out causing havoc. She calls Captain America, who's too busy on a SHIELD operation. He tells her to call the Fantastic Four, but she can't since she had a strange night in Vegas with Johnny Storm. So she feels awkward calling them. She comes to the conclusion that this is her chance to do what she said to Jessica and take this on herself. Just in this one issue, Carol is already great and relatable. I like her self-doubt and ambition to better herself. Unlike the Alyssa Wong run, which lacked any human qualities for any real tension, this is off to a great start. Lastly, and most importantly, the art is excellent and very grounded. Not too stylized to be cartoony, and not too photorealistic. Just right to stand out on its own with some beautiful environmental shots and welcome interior designs that make me feel like I am in the room or the restaurant that the characters dwell in each panel. Miss Marvel number 2. Number 2 continues to be solid and has some good subtle world building. The Brood is here, but out of desperation from being hunted to near extinction by this mysterious hunter alien they call Crew. Investigating the last surviving Brood, Carol finds out the Brood led him here to get a favorite crystal of immense power. Carol is familiar with this crystal of immense power and has seen it in military bases before. While Carol was knocked out, Crew absorbed her memories to find its location. Miss Marvel is badass here. When she was investigating the last Brood, she kills it even after it told her everything she needed to know. No survivor's mentality. Crew gets to the crystal before Miss Marvel could stop him, and the ish ends here. Miss Marvel number 3. Damn. Read this issue so fast and I loved every second of it. The stakes are high. Crew obtained the Caravite crystal, which causes a huge reaction. The reaction wipes out the whole town in Georgia of 3,000 plus people and a military base like an atom bomb. The explosion caused Crew and Miss Marvel to shoot straight up into space. This caused all the oxygen to be sucked out in the explosion, so when Miss Marvel can make a move in space, she was already suffocating. Going back down to regain her air, she had to compose herself and take a deep breath to make a quick, decisive attack on Crew. Blowing Crew up, she fell down the earth and fell unconscious only to be found by the beautiful Fantastic Four. I couldn't believe that entire town was killed off. This was when Marvel had balls. What I like is this sets up that there will be more deadly adventures where nothing is guaranteed. A high-stakes story that gives it a lot of meaning. Ms. Marvel number 4. Carol learns that people are blaming her for what happened in Georgia. Her publicist Sarah thinks this is great for her either way. Her publicist is so forceful and extremely intrusive of Carol's life throughout these issues, it makes the reader wonder if she is some villain in disguise waiting to strike, or build Carol up then destroy her. Doctor Strange makes an appearance here to help Carol figure out what is going on with the villain, the Traveler. The Traveler commits a Trojan horse in the Sanctum of Strange when Carol leaves, and is in the lead here because he is now possessed and has the Wand of Watum. I never heard of this Traveler, but so far he's pretty cool. The explanation for the Traveler is that he is still connected to the House of M's reality that no longer exists, yet he still has this connection through Ms. Marvel. His connection to the now non-existent reality makes him dangerous and volatile to the new current reality. Lastly, I appreciate how the writer Brian Reed respects Doctor Strange, and Carol doesn't treat him like a joke, like how Alyssa Wong made her act in her 2023 miniseries. In that shit, Carol and the self-insert Una character would throw cracks at every line that Strange would say. It was annoying as fuck, and here you clearly see Carol has deep respect for the Sorcerer Supreme. Issue number 5. These issues really knock it out of the park. The Traveler shows how deadly and dangerous he is when he forces Ms. Marvel to almost die in an alternate reality where the human race gets devoured by an alien insect horde in mere seconds. Traveling the many multiverses to continue gathering his power while also going insane, the Traveler is quite deadly. By far the best thing about these issues is the art by Del La Torre. Some of the best work I've seen. The battle with the Traveler overwhelms Doctor Strange and Carol eventually, that builds up to this epic sensational moment where Carol and Doctor Strange huddle close and combine their powers to fight back. The art during those moments felt animated and alive to me. The final 1-2 energy shot was also beautiful indeed. This issue ends with Tony Stark calling Carol, telling her to meet him before seeing Captain America. But the last page has this again beautiful rendition of our boy Captain America in her room already requesting to speak with Carol Danvers. Issue number 6, not sure how to fairly rate this as I'm not reading Civil War, but it's okay. Nothing special about issue number 6. Issue number 7, while I'm not enjoying this as much as I did issues number 1 to 5, it is still solid. Some good action shots of Carol and Wonder Boy going after Spider-Woman and her man for going against the Superhero Registration Act. Some good dialogue moments, but I'm looking forward to when this goes back to the solo theme of Ms. Marvel. So let's just go to number 8, because that just continues off of the main story of Brian Reed's arc. Issue number 8. This was a good issue. Carol is doing what she believes is right by enforcing the Superhero Registration Act, even going as far as chasing Julia, Spider-Woman, and confiscating her in front of her daughter Rachel and her parents. Before this, Max, Julia's boyfriend, who was caught, first told Carol how she is completely wrong. For a minute I thought she would change her stance, but instead she refused to see the light and continues to follow Iron Man's path instead of Captain America's. But in this issue, you see her definitive stance of the law start to break after the traumatic fight she had ruining a mother and daughter's life. I think Carol will see the light, and she even said Captain America is like a father to her, but there are lines you don't cross, that she says. The only info I know is this whole law started because a bunch of school kids died in an accident during some superhero villain fight or something. That's bad, but why hold the hero accountable and make them pay for something started by a villain? Although I should probably read Civil War one day, so I have the full context, I'm just not up for it right now. Anyway, the issue ends with a surprise visitor. My girl Rogue shows up. Can't wait to read the next issue. Miss Marvel, issue number 9. This was a good issue. Another version of Carol ended up on this world because she allowed Crew to attain the Cavorite crystal and blow up the whole world instead of what the main Carol did, saving the world. The explosion in the Warbird's world shot her through the universe, somehow making her land in this main multiverse. What's really funny is, I wonder if this universe's Marvel killed off was the 1998 world. I say this because in the Iron Man 1998 run, Carol and Tony supported each other when they would fall back on alcohol. Sometimes Carol would get into some bad, dark places and almost kill Iron Man in her drunken rage. I wonder if that universe is now dead because she fell back into one of her dark places instead of doing the right thing, and so she lost her entire world. More potential evidence of this is she still calls herself Warbird where she comes from. If that's the case, then it's sad because I actually did not mind the 1998 Marvel stuff. Issue number 10. This conflict between the two Carols was more entertaining than it sounds. What really impressed me is how Miss Marvel doesn't hold back at all. There's a part where Rogue tries to break up the fight between Miss Marvel and Warbird, and Miss Marvel gets pissed off and gives her a good kick in the ribs, knocking Rogue out of the game immediately. Sickened by her psycho alternate self, Carol fights almost dying a couple of times. We learn that Warbird has traveled many multiverses and has already killed dozens of Rogues and Carols who got in her way. None of the other versions killed Rogue and forgave her like our main Miss Marvel, but this Miss Marvel, after some struggle, finally got the upper hand and got behind Warbird, shooting a devastating photon beam at the back of her skull. It looked like her head came off as Warbird fell from the sky with smoke obscuring her head. But she was horribly scarred from the blast. She lost all her hair and her face was scarred. Miss Marvel conflicted on whether to kill her or not. She then decides to spare her and sends her off to be obtained and held captive by S.H.I.E.L.D. Rogue, still unconscious and injured, Beast shows up and tells Carol that Rogue will be alright in a few days, but she really should leave now. Feeling guilty, Carol flies up into space to debate with herself if she is a good person or not. There's some really great artwork throughout, especially in these scenes of self-doubt that Miss Marvel has. Lastly, Miss Marvel Special Number 1. Released January 31st, 2007. This was really good, not the best of the run, but Reed does a great job with his dialogue. So this kid Gavin has the ability to alter reality just by reading words of a book. He does this by reading one of Carol's books about her time as binary and accidentally almost destroys reality. But with the help of Carol, she guides him to use his imagination instead to get them out of the situation. This works out, but Carol comes to the realization that she might have made a monster because now Gavin can manipulate reality without the use of written words. Sending her back with Simon, Wonder Boy, to the restaurant like nothing happened, Carol is freaking out about the consequences. So that is the end of Miss Marvel issues number 1 to 10. I did a remake of this because I lost my original video files, and I thought they were too long for the editing, and I wanted this to be more concise. So I hope you enjoyed Miss Marvel. There will be more Miss Marvels, part 1, this was, and part 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the coming time. Hope you enjoyed. You guys have a good one.